Hi everyone, this is Isabella. Today with me is the Hydrogen Man, and we are here to do another interview. So I hope that you all enjoy. How are you, Hydrogen Man?
Doing very, very well. How are you, Isabella?
Oh, I'm very well, thank you. I'm so excited to have this another interview before you fly off to Japan. That's amazing.
Yes, I'm very, very, I guess you could say excited, but I'm looking forward to spending time there and making some videos for people to enjoy.
Yes, I'm sure it will be an amazing time because it's just such an amazing country. So different.
Yes, I think they are remarkable people and everybody has their beautiful things and they certainly have theirs.
Yes, yes. Well, I'll get on with the interview. So the first question is pretty simple. I just wanted to know, where can people purchase this machine?
So the official site of the hydrogen machine that I use is holyhydrogen.com. And obviously I use it because it's the best. When it comes to my health, everything's got to be the best. The best, cleanest water, the best hydrogen, produced as far as super clean, no byproducts and proper levels. And same thing with my food and nutrients and stuff like that. So that's where I get the hydrogen machine. It's number one Japanese machine in all of Japan, which says a lot because the Japanese have super high standards. Usually, whatever is number one in Japan is pretty much number one in the world. So,
Okay, well, that's great. I'll be putting that link in the description so that you can all click on that and purchase your Holy Hydrogen machine and see and try it out for yourself. Okay, and then what are the first steps of using the machine once it is set up?
well, once it's set up, now obviously I don't give any medical advice and I don't make any medical claims. And I don't make any claims for or against any product or products. But what I would say is because it really depends, you got to make sure you don't have kidney issues because, that out of water. If you're on high blood pressure medication, I really tell people make sure to monitor your blood pressure because I've literally seen hydrogen bring people's blood pressure down so they can get off medications. So eventually, I've seen many people get off medications and pharmaceuticals. Same thing goes for like diabetes because it helps bring down blood glucose to healthy levels. But if you're taking medicine and bring them down too low, so just really monitor. But beyond that, if you don't have too many issues, my protocol is on my video 337. But usually, I would consume half a liter to a liter of water, empty stomach before breakfast, lunch, and dinner for a minimum of 1.5 to 2 liters a day. Ideally, 2 to 3 liters a day is, in my opinion, ideal. And then, of course, inhaling the hydrogen gas, at least 90 minutes a day. A lot of times, when you're sitting there, like right now, I could be inhaling it, or if I'm on the computer or working or something of the sort. So that's how I would use it. Again, as long as you have the proper equipment. I know a lot of people see these little tiny, they're little Chinese bottles that make some hydrogen. I don't use those for many reasons. I've seen the lab reports about what's in their membranes, the metal technology they use, potential flaking metals, just stuff like that. So again, I only recommend specific ways. And basically what helped me overcome my health challenges, because technically I'm not even supposed to be alive right now. So, these are the methods that I use that really change and save my life, in my opinion. So,
Yes, well, everyone, I know that Greg, and I know that when he uses something, it's the best of the best, and it definitely wasn't those little bottles. So, I would definitely recommend that you use the link below to purchase that Holy Hydrogen because I know that it's the best of the best if Greg uses it. So, are there any other basics that people should know once it is set up?
I mean, I think ideally the machine's pretty easy to use. I have videos on how to use it. The nice thing is it's simple. It's got one button. And I think since you do use water as a carrier for the gas, the hydrogen gas, think about it like carbonated water. We're dissolving a gas. And because you're going to do that into water, obviously I highly recommend the cleanest water. The cleanest water, you make it yourself, but it's very inexpensive. It's better than any water filter out there. And it's from a website called mypurewater.com. And it's carbon distillation. And again, I know every water filtration modality in existence. In fact, you can see my video 388 where I show the lab tests. And that's how I eventually came to the conclusion that this was the best way to clean water. And of course, when I did it, I also chose I say the best of the best, but when it comes to distillation, it's a little different than hydrogen. There is more than one good machine out there. It's not just like one or two machines like in the world of hydrogen. And so I use the ones from mypurewater.com. They're American made actually, but I've had really good success with them. They've been really reliable. They lab test their stuff and just super clean water. And I just think that that's an important step when you're using water as a carrier for the gas. So that's why they call it hydrogen water, but whatever water you're using, in my opinion, matters. Because you could literally put tap water into the machine, and I wouldn't want to do that. I don't want to drink tap water. I know what's in it. And so, yeah, use the clean water if you can.
Yes, water does make a difference. So, there's an inhalation attachment. So how do you use that?
So pretty easy. You just kind of curl it behind your ears like this. I guess I'll just show you. And then the easy part is there's just one button on the machine, which I'm going to hit it right now. You'll hear a beep. And that's it. The hydrogen gas is already flowing, and I already can start inhaling it right away. You should see the benefits. There was, I've done things, I'm not trying to toot my own horn here, but these are real things that I've worked with people on, like people with Alzheimer's and dementia, when their doctors say that there's no hope, or there's some crazy expensive medication that really is not going to solve it. They're just trying to slow it down. I have some videos where people have literally used this and the results were so dramatic, they actually shocked me. But there is a medical center in Japan right now that is using this technology for Alzheimer's and dementia, going straight to the brain, the gas. And it really is just kind of unbelievable. I worked with another lady. She actually did a testimonial with the company. The company has their own YouTube channel called Lourdes Hydrogen, I think is the name of their YouTube channel. And they have a woman there who had TBI, which was traumatic brain injury. And I mean, she could barely talk when I first talked to her myself, because she reached out to me first. And it was unbelievable, the changes that hydrogen gas inhalation has done for her. So they literally interviewed her, and she could talk. She couldn't talk before. She could talk for 10, maybe 20 seconds, and she'd forget everything. And her brain, it was really bad. It was actually really sad. And then when she got the results that she got, she contacted me like 6 months later. I didn't even recognize her on the phone because she was talking normal and coherent. And I was thinking, who is this? And she called me because she just said, I just wanted to tell you that thank you for saving my life. And I was like, who is this? I didn't save anybody's life. She said, you did, because I was actually going to end my life because I just couldn't live like this. And I made a prayer, and you literally popped up on some video within 24 hours. And she said, I just decided to follow what you were suggesting because I had nothing to lose. And it absolutely transformed her life. And it's just been an unbelievable testimonial. But there's so many like that. I mean, this has been going on for years. I've been doing this for almost a decade. And so it's very powerful, very beautiful. And obviously we hope that the world learns and more about it, and they can watch my channel if they want to learn more too, or read the science on it. There's like over 2,000 studies on this stuff. It's unbelievable. It's already medically approved. I don't know, people don't know this, but it's already medically approved in Japan, not in America, and it probably won't be approved in America for quite some time, but in Japan, it's already medically approved.
That's amazing. That really is. And I was also thinking that without oxygen, our brain cannot survive. So with hydrogen, it should make the brain work even better, which is why it helped with the Alzheimer's and dementia with that lady.
Yeah, I mean, I think what people need to understand is that oxygen is something that we already get. Our environment is filled with roughly 20% or more oxygen in our environment. So we're breathing it all the time. And oxygen is an oxidant. So it kind of kills things, believe it or not. That's the reason that we use, for example, like hydrogen peroxide. Hydrogen peroxide is actually an additional oxygen molecule. And you put it on cuts because it'll kill bacteria and keep you from getting an infection or something of the sort. But the part that has been discovered now is that hydrogen functions the opposite of oxygen. Instead of being an oxidant, it's an antioxidant. And together they really seem to balance each other out. And we're already getting oxygen, so we don't have to worry about that really that much. But the hydrogen really brings that balance because we don't get hydrogen in the air. We produce some of it in our body, but you know, with all the garbage in the food these days and the pesticides, and it disrupts the GI system, in my opinion, it's inhibiting a lot of hydrogen production and potentially causing a lot of the medical issues that we're seeing, along with all the chemicals and everything else out there. But it's kind of a really big no-brainer, unbelievable for your health. even anti-aging. I mean, they did a really cool blood work on a guy in Japan where they tested his blood, before hydrogen. He got on hydrogen for 1 year. He didn't change his lifestyle, always ate the same, everything's the same. And in 1 year, when they tested his blood was 5 years younger. So it appears to be very anti-aging. They even use it for beauty. They use it for skin and all sorts of stuff in Japan. And it just has so many other benefits, anti-inflammatory, selective antioxidants, super good for energy, recovery. I mean, it just goes on and on for the brain, for the eyes. The stuff I've seen for the eyes has actually blown my mind because I got results with people that I worked with on their eye conditions before there was even any scientific data. Now the Japanese, years after I had already done it, they actually figured out that it's amazing for the eyes, and every time I get checkups, like I'm always getting different types of studies done on me. Like I went to go get my eyes checked, I went to go get my kidneys checked, my bladder checked, lots of blood work, all this different type of stuff to see if what I'm doing is working. And the results are always actually better than I expect. And when I get my eyes checked, my eye doctor explained to me that they can look into your eye and literally tell you in your eyes, like roughly what age you are. Because as you age, your eye conditions change and things get worse. When they looked at my eyes, they were like, your eyes look like that of a 20-year-old. And, and I'm closer to 50. And so they're like, this is unbelievable. Like your eyes shouldn't look like this. And my vision has actually gotten better since the hydrogen. I mean, I used to use just a light prescription of glasses. I'm not even using them anymore. And that happened with my father too. His vision got super good. All his high blood pressure, high cholesterol, diabetes, glaucoma, arthritis, all these things, going away with a lot of people. So it's been pretty amazing. It's hard to believe. The world doesn't know. So hopefully, you sharing it will open up a lot of people's eyes and really help people improve their lives because I think people need it.
Yes, we really do hope that it will improve a lot of people's lives and help them along the way. And I was also wondering, before I move on to the next session of our questions, just two more, I was wondering do you need any technical skills to set this up, or is it easy?
The beautiful part about it is that the Japanese made it easy for us. It's kind of like getting in a car. You need an engineer and you need the science of metals and you have to do all these things to build the car, right? But you just get in and push a button, turn the key, and you're just off. Well, the Japanese did the same thing with the hydrogen machine. It's got one button, and the function is either to push the button or hold down the button. That's literally how you run through all the functions. It's really quite easy. I've made videos on it, but it's super easy. It's probably the easiest hydrogen machine I've ever seen. They even made it to where you can maintain it yourself. There used to be hydrogen machines that you'd have to ship somewhere every 3 months. It was expensive. It was a pain in the rear. And this one makes both the water and the gas inhalation, where you really want both, where some machines only do one or the other. And it does both at an extremely high level, meaning like the purity, even the levels. All the machines are lab tested and certified, which no company in the industry does this. There's not one hydrogen company that lab tests every single machine they sell. I mean, that's insane that they do this. There's a reason that this company is #1 and they're really good. And it's to make sure that you gain the proper levels because you want the proper levels of hydrogen. So it's important. And it's so hard to detect and test. The equipment to test for hydrogen is actually way more expensive than the hydrogen equipment itself. So.
Okay, so that sounds fairly easy set up. And then I just want to be pretty transparent here. So I know that the hydrogen machines run for a fairly high price, but for what they do, I know that it's worth it. And I was just wondering if they have any on the hydrogen website, if you have any sales or anything for holidays or something like that, so that people would have an easier time purchasing them.
Yeah, they run sales periodically. There are discount codes too. And I agree with you. I actually used to think that they were expensive. I was like, oh my gosh, $2,500 or whatever is expensive. But then I realized, because I researched it so much, I didn't realize that the level of technology and effort it would take to make what would be called medical grade hydrogen. And medical grade versus non-medical grade, just like oxygen, means high purity. Purity is medical grade. And to make something at that level is so difficult. You're not going to do it in your own garage. Top engineers with top technology from companies like Toyota, G-Shock, Yamaha, some special metal company, I can't remember the name of it, from Japan. It's not easy. And so having a machine like this that you can literally just buy for 2,500 and just have one button, and the machine lasts for years and years and years and years. Most machines burn out and break actually pretty quickly in the world of hydrogen. It's actually really cheap, but I thought it was expensive myself too. I was like, oh my gosh, I can't imagine spending that. But the truth, it's so much cheaper than I actually had understood originally. And the longer it lasts, the machine, technically the cheaper it really is, because you're able to make hydrogen every single day, all day. Like I'm inhaling right now, and I mean, it literally takes pennies to run the machine once I've got it. So at first, I had a misunderstanding of how it really all quote unquote worked. And now I see that I was wrong, and it's actually a pretty low price to pay. People pay that for tires for a car, or wheels, or, simple little things, in life that people spend a lot of money on. A little jewelry, clothes, purses. I mean, why not get something that is transformative to your health, anti-aging, super good for your skin, but overall just your health in general, so that we can have a healthy life. Because in my opinion, happiness is like the number one currency. Like I want to be happy. And I've realized, because I've had so many medical issues in my past, that having good health is a huge part of being able to be happy, and being happy is priceless. So that's the way that I look at it.
Yes, it is. Happiness is just, it's life. And I was wondering, so there's no filters or anything else that needs to be changed on this machine. So
there is a little cartridge. I'll show it to you right now. This little cartridge is replaced once a year to once every 2 years, depending on how much you use a machine. And it'll set off a light when it's due. And they're like 40 something dollars, I believe. So they're really cheap. Everything's food grade in it, so it's really high quality. A lot of hydrogen machines use chemicals, which is really weird. They'll use something like lye or sodium hydroxide, or cheap plated metals, or stainless steel, things that you shouldn't use to make hydrogen. This machine, everything they did was top notch, which is why they're number one. But yeah, and it's so easy. You just literally just drop it into the machine, and that's it, already installed. I mean, it took 1 second, so they made it easy. They made it really easy.
Yeah, that does sound very easy, and like anyone could do it. So this is the next two questions that I have for you. So can you add hydrogen water to food and drinks, like smoothies and different stuff like that?
You can add it to smoothies. Let's say you were to have orange juice, and you wanted this much orange juice, and you added a little bit of hydrogen water to it. You can definitely do that. I think personally, I think it enhances it, mostly because I saw a study in Japan where they were testing like the antioxidative power of certain foods, like an apple. And they would do that, and then they would put that apple in a glass of hydrogen water for 20 minutes and then test it again. And the antioxidative power of it just went through the roof. So somehow the hydrogen is going into the food. So if you have a smoothie, you can pour a little hydrogen water into it if you want, and try to enhance it that way. But for the most part, I drink it, I inhale it. And a lot of times I inhale it when I'm drinking my smoothies, actually. So that's another way to do it.
Wow, that's amazing. That's just doubling it. So the next question, it's part of the first question of this, was can you use this in hot food or just smoothies and stuff?
So the hotter something is, like if you have, let's say, hot coffee or hot tea, the hotter it is, the quicker the hydrogen will leave. And so the colder it stays. Could you pour it in a cup of coffee? I guess you could, but usually what I do is I'll either have the hydrogen water first, enjoy a cup of coffee or something, and then I might even have a little bit afterwards, because I swish it in my mouth to try to neutralize a lot of the acids from things like coffee that could potentially be damaging to our enamel and whatnot. So, but you can't just pour it on food, as far as like, you don't want to pour water on on a steak or eggs or salad anyway. So usually what I do is I load up on the hydrogen water before my meal, like 20 to 30 minutes before a meal. I drink a bunch of hydrogen water. It's in my system. And then as I eat the meal, if I want to take it another step further, I'll inhale the hydrogen gas while I'm eating my meal.
Yes.
Like ultimate absorption of nutrients and to neutralize. So hydrogen appears to actually protect you a great deal. If you were to see my video number 8 or read the science, it's amazing how protective it is, which is important because I believe we're being exposed to chemicals all the time. Things in our house, glues, cars, pollution in the air, pollution in our water, pollution in our food, certain medicines that people take. And it's amazing how powerful it is. I mean, just to give you an idea, there is a drug called cisplatin. It is a pharmaceutical drug that is used for tumors, for cancer, but it is so toxic that it will literally destroy your kidneys. I mean, it'll just destroy your kidneys. You go in for cancer, and now you need a kidney transplant, right? So doctors don't like to use that drug very much. However, I found a study where they were using hydrogen with a cisplatin, and it would protect the kidneys so much so that it appears that you could potentially just walk out of there after treatment with your original kidneys. So if it can protect you from something that is so toxic and damaging, imagine how it's protecting you from all the little things that we run into everyday life. So that's also why I like to inhale it while I'm eating, anything that might be in my food. Just constantly try to protect me, and it also protects you from radiation. In fact, they've used it in Japan for like when people get, again, chemotherapy or something of the sort, some type of radiation treatment. And I believe that that's very powerful. I've seen it do some remarkable things, even for a woman who was deemed terminal. And I think they gave her like 3 to 4 months to live. And she used a technique that I would have done too, where she used the hydrogen from this device while she was getting treatment for her cancer, which they told her the treatment wasn't going to do anything for her, but she still wanted it. The combination, her cancer totally went away, and she's still alive to this day. I think it's been like 7 years. It's crazy.
Wow. It's amazing. Everything you say is this, it shocks me every time.
I know
So,
it's hard to believe. I'm actually a skeptic, and when I first read the scientific data for almost 4 years, I thought it was a scam, and I kept thinking, "Where's this data coming from? Where is this research being done?" And then, of course, I found these major universities in Japan, and it was very legitimate to the point where it got medically approved. And I'm like, "This stuff's the real deal. How do I get it?" And that was my question, like, "Where do I get this?" And then, of course, I realized there's no way I'm going to make it myself. And then I realized, you need to get the proper equipment, and that's why I'm so thankful that they made this piece of equipment, because all the equipment's not equal, and the majority of equipment out there I'm not very fond of it, and so
mhm.
it exists. That's why $2,500 is like such a small price to pay. It cost them millions of dollars to develop something like this, and so the fact that we can get it so cheap and it's reliable and does everything the right way, I'm just impressed and happy about it.
Yes, and you've been talking about the videos that you do, and I've seen your channel. It's just amazing. All the different testimonials and videos of how to use this hydrogen machine. And so I was wondering, your your channel is called Uprising 144K. Is that it?
Yep, yep,
Yeah,
that's
okay. All right. And then you're on YouTube, and is that it? Or are you on other
um,
platforms?
all my best information's on YouTube, and it's all free. That was my goal. I just want to give it for free to the world. So please share, subscribe, hit the thumbs up, because it helps the channel and to get the word out. You can find me on Instagram. You can find me on Twitter, or I guess they call it X now. You can find me on Rumble. I think that's about it. But the truth is that I don't put a lot of data out there. Most of the information, I really put it on YouTube. But it's good to join all of them, because if anything happens to my channel, as you know, we don't really have super free speech these days. Then, if that's the case and something happens, then people can find me all over again when I open up a new one.
Yes, yes. And you have so many amazing videos. Just amazing, amazing videos. I get shocked every time I see them. So the last question that I have for you is, do you need to drink the hydrogen water right away, or can you have it in a water bottle for a few minutes or just a small amount of time and then drink it? Or does the effect go away?
I mean, I would like to drink it relatively quickly. I pour a pretty large glass. I think it's about 18 ounces. And I'll just kind of drink it. It probably takes me 1 or 2 minutes, maybe three. I think anything within 5 minutes. But the you wait, the gas escapes very quickly, the hydrogen gas. As long as the water's on the machine's always keeping the hydrogen at full maximum level. But the moment you put it in a glass or a bottle, you have to consume it right away. Unless there's only one company in the world that produced a special, almost like a special water bottle that can hold the hydrogen actually for like the whole day. And if you refrigerate it, even more. And they do sell that at the official company's website. So you can put the water in there if you need to carry it to work or carry it to the gym or something like that. So you do have that opportunity. But usually I just load up on it and then I go to the gym. And when I get back home, I drink, more and things like that. But when I do go hiking, I do like to take my hydrogen water with me. So I do fill up my pouch.
That's great. Yeah. So I hope that this helped someone out there and that their questions were answered. We'll be doing more videos hopefully in the future. So I hope that their questions will be answered there too. And I just I'm so grateful to have been done this interview. It's just so amazing to hear everything that you have to say. And again, Hydrogen Man's channel is Uprising144K. So I recommend that you go and visit that channel and learn all that you can about this amazing, amazing water and hydrogen itself. Just amazing. So,
in my opinion, source of all life, which I know people would say, wait a second, how is hydrogen the source of all life? Almost the entire cosmos are made of mostly hydrogen. Our sun is made of almost entirely hydrogen, plus helium, but helium is actually a form of hydrogen for people who don't know. And water is mostly made of hydrogen. And so it really is, in my opinion, a very special gas. So I appreciate you taking the time to and sharing this with people. And if it even just affects one person in a positive way, I think that's a wonderful thing. So I really hope people found benefit from this video today. So thanks for doing it.
thank you. I appreciate you.